Hello and welcome back to the channel. My name is Michael and I've been collecting physical media now for 3 years. Um, Today on the 11th of August, I'm going to coin as the 3 year mark because with my bad memory, I kind of sort of like don't remember exactly when, but I do know it was in uh, 2021 when I started collecting, and it wasn't until scrolling through the my Yu-Gi-Oh Instagram page um, that I discovered the first thing that probably started all of this, um, which was this Yu-Gi-Oh! The movie, to the 2004 Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie. Now, initially, it wasn't this Blu-ray copy. It was a DVD copy that I had purchased from CEX, and I don't know what it was. I guess the stars aligned and or the planets aligned, whatever way you want to go about it, and that's what kickstarted me into all of this, and it was at it was at the point where I was, thinking of making this channel for months before I done it, and I was just, at the time it was just two YouTube channels that I was doing. It was my old vlog channel, and it was my Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel, which at that time was seeing some moderate success. It was my first YouTube channel to get 100 subscribers, and I was, posting. Uh, I think it was Monday, Friday content. What I do now, essentially. But it wasn't like pre-recorded like most of my content is, because I am pre-recording this on the 7th of May. Why? Because I've been wanting to do it for a while, but every time I want to actually go record it, I'm like, oh, my phone's nearly dead, and I just can't be bothered. So at the 3 year mark, of collecting, how do I feel? I still love this hobby. I still love collecting. As you are well seen, I'm continuing to post the weekly pickups videos, or at least I should hope I'm still doing it. I don't know if I've gone back to monthly, uh, but I still think I'm doing weekly for the moment. Um, and it's allowed me to repurpose my old bedroom into this wonderful media room, because back when I first started, this was it. This bookcase that is kind of off to the side here. That was it. That was what all I had to build it up, and it was mainly just I was displaying my book collection, because I do somewhat collect books, but not as much as I would in physical media. Now I have been a collector of many different things over the years. Um, Back in 2015, 2016, I got into retro games. I obviously grew up with what would be now classed as, to some people, retro, like myself, like the PlayStation 2, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS. Those types of consoles were what I grew up on, and so I started watching two YouTube channels that started that. The first one was Metal Jesus Rocks, and the other one, who I still watch to this day. Every time they posted a new episode, I will watch it, and that is the Game Chasers, Billy and Jay. I love them. They're the shenanigans that they get up to in most episodes has me in stitches, and it was because watching them go hunting for the retro stuff. Because Metal Jesus, he would just sit in his man cave and talk about them, but Billy and Jay actually film themselves going to flea markets, to conventions, to game stores, to thrift shops, to find all of these stuff. And that's what started me doing that for a year. I did it. No, I did it from 2015 to 2017, and um, yeah, and I had a pretty decent enough collection. If I remember to do so, I might have some. I might edit in what it looked like. As well, at that point, I was in film college. I've mentioned this quite a few times in passing that in 2016 to 2017, I've done a year in film school. And at that point, I did try to collect physical media at one point because of just how cheap DVDs were. And I didn't necessarily care about DVDs or Blu rays, and I didn't really watch anyone specifically for that. It was mainly just video games. But collecting video games started to not be that appealing. Like I'd be buying stuff that I just want to be playing. And then I just look at my collection, pick out something, look it up on CEX, see how much I'd get for it to trade in. So I'd get a big stack, like a decent sized stack of my games, go down, trade them in on a voucher, and then buy another big stack to come home with. And I don't know, something just in me snapped in 2017 that I got rid of it all. I got rid of it all. And there are some things that I do massively regret getting rid of. My Pokemon DS games I regret getting rid of because of how expensive they are now. I regret getting rid of my Pokemon themed 3DS XL because that's I think about 100, 150 to 200 now if I wanted to get it back. Um, I regret getting rid of Pokemon Emerald on GBA that I paid it €10 for, which it sells for, I don't know, 100 times that price now. It's like in around loose, I think it's about like over, definitely over 100. Anyway, about maybe 100, 120, 150. I don't know. It's been a while since I last looked it up. And then I had one of the big things that I found whilst collecting video games at that time was a pristine condition original Game Boy that I paid. I think it was €1.25, €1 something in a charity shop, and I got rid of it. And I'm still kicking myself over that to this day. Like I still have my original Game Boy Advance from when I was a kid, and I would never get rid of that. And I still have some games for it. Um, but yeah, that's when I stopped doing it because I was just. I think it was because I was buying and selling, trading in at a massive loss. Like I could buy a game in a charity shop back when I could used to be able to find games more frequently, for like €2, €3 and trade it into CEX and I get 50 cents for it. So I was losing money on that. Um, so that was the first big thing that I started collecting. The next thing that I started collecting for was Yu-Gi-Oh. When I got back into the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game, I started buying packs and building decks and getting into the competitive scene of sorts. I was mainly just with friends. I never actually went to locals or YCSs, regionals, WCQs, stuff like that. I didn't go to. Um, and I was, buying packs, buying cards off of eBay and stuff, and Yu-Gi-Oh card market. And then in 2021, during the pandemic, that's when I focused on just buying packs and build for and stuff like that to collecting, to actually like build a proper binder for collecting. And I was doing that, and it was also, I think it's also another reason why I stopped collecting for video games is because I was focused on the monetary value of the collection. I was always wondering how much does this thing go for? How much would I get if I was to sell my entire collection? That type of stuff. And after a while, that just lost its appeal because I was focusing too heavily on the monetary side of things. And that's been my big downfall for collecting video games and for Yu-Gi-Oh. So now let's bring this back to collecting DVDs and Blu-rays. Now, my mother has always had a collection of sorts. Not like what I have now. It's just some things that she would have. Very rarely would she treat herself, but when she did, If it was something she liked, she would do it. Like I remember back when GameStop used to sell DVDs and it was mainly just DVDs for like really really dirt cheap. Like you could come out with like five DVDs for X amount of euro. I can't remember exactly. It's been years. It was like early 2010s when they done that, and then it just stopped, obviously. And so like my mother would go in and she would buy a whole bunch of stuff for herself, and I think if she hadn't gotten that sick the way she was, like if she was able, with the neuropathy in her feet, she could actually feel her feet and be able to walk properly. I think she definitely would have been buying like so much in CEX. I was just thinking about that recently. That because I one of the funny stories that I have, about her is basically, um, from my local library. I went in and got a new library card, used a different last name, forget which one I used. And I was looking around to see, what I, take to borrow. And I was looking at the DVD section, and I noticed a Doctor Who DVD. I forget which. I think it was The Edge of Destruction. Yeah, yeah, it was Edge of Destruction. And I was like, oh, now I kind of want to keep this, because that's something that we did have. Like we had up to like season, like we had the season 1 to 4 box set that you could get. We also had season 5, and we also had season 6, and that was it. It was just the first 6 seasons of Doctor Who. We didn't get season 7. We didn't get any of the other ones after that. And so I was looking to see like, okay, what do they have anything here that I could convince my mother to allow me to keep this, And I did. I found it. It was Sherlock Holmes, uh, but a particular actor for Sherlock Holmes, and that's Jeremy Brett. Mom absolutely loved and adored him, had a huge crush on him, and all that stuff. And so I was like, okay, this is how I get to keep this classic Doctor Who DVD. And so after I left the library, I rang my mom. I said, "Hey, so I borrowed a classic Doctor Who DVD. I kind of want to keep it." She's like, "Nope, nope, you can't do that. You're not allowed to keep it." I was like, "Oh, now hold on. I did find something for you." She's like, "I highly doubt what you have. I will let you keep." I was like, "It's Sherlock Holmes, Jeremy Brett Sherlock Holmes," and she's like, "We'll talk about this when you get home." So I got home, showed her the Edge of Destruction DVD, handed her the Jeremy Brett box set, and as I was explaining my thought process, like I just did a sec there, she peeled off the barcode for the box set, and she's like, "Oh, I guess we're keeping these now." But yeah, she had like a decent enough, and one of the things that I loved to do was reorganize them. I'd do it in alphabetical order, but I'd also have like the different series together. And I love doing that because to me that was therapeutic. That's what I love about when I'm putting things away, because it's therapeutic for me. That's why I love having my collection in alphabetical order. And so I would do that so every now and again when things would get messed up. And when she died, I unfortunately got rid of it all. And I think it was because it was because I was, wasn't getting, like, I wasn't surviving all that much on very little from the social welfare. I think I was getting like €112 a week. Um, and so I was behind. I think I was behind on stuff, so I traded what I knew I had some decent value in, which was the Doctor Who's. That's why when I started collecting, I'm glad that I've got it all. I don't have every episode of classic Doctor Who, but I'm happy to have every modern Doctor Who uh, that's out at the moment. Now, obviously, as this comes out, season 1 of Shooty's era, I'm not sure if it's out on physical, and I don't know if I have it because again, I'm literally recording this the week it's actually starting. Um, so I look at my collection, now with nearly. Last I checked, like nearly 800 in my collection, and I look at everything that I managed to acquire, and I'm like, I'm happy. You know, obviously I'm not going to stop. You know, there is no end goal for me. I don't think. As I believe there won't be any end goals for other collectors. You know, there's still all of Star Trek that I need to get on physical. There's still other series that I have that I need to get for, and yeah, it was all because of this. All because I wanted to rewatch the 2004 Yu-Gi-Oh movie that I bought randomly on CEX because I was like, oh, I could do like a review for that for my Yu-Gi-Oh YouTube channel. And yeah, now here we are, 3 years later of collecting and nearly 3 years on YouTube, and I've had a wonderful experience. I've had a wonderful time, and I've enjoyed the ups and I've enjoyed the downs, and I love and have loved every minute of collecting and this channel, and interacting with other people in the community, actually being able to watch movies that I've never seen before for the very first time, because going to the cinema was a luxury for me growing up, unless it was the Harry Potters, up until the Half Blood Prince, the Deathly Hallows we never seen in cinema. I do remember not seeing them in cinema, um, and then you know see what else. Yeah, so and then it was just if it wasn't on, if I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but growing up, after a certain point, growing up, I was predominantly just staying in this room. Like, I watched mainly just YouTube videos, play games and stuff. Would only go downstairs if my mother called for me, or if I wanted food or drink, um, or to go do homework, that type of stuff, or to watch Doctor Who, on Saturdays when it was on. So yeah, it's been one hell of a wild ride, collecting, and not just like collecting physical media, but getting so much cool shit. Like, look, that's the Enterprise D behind me. My mother had a Playmates Enterprise D that my nanny got her years and years and years ago, way before I was into Star Trek, and I remember playing with it and breaking it. Um, but yeah, it's not just that. Like, the amount of Doctor Who figures that I have now through collecting through this medium, even the starships that I have, you can see some of them here. Like, I'm assuming, yeah, on camera you can see the Enterprise, you see the Springfield class, and that's about it. But I do also have an Akira class, which is my favorite ship, the Defiant, as well as another one that I got. Some I've got regotten toys that I've had as a kid, some that I never had, and I've loved it. I have loved doing this. Um, so I was going to do like talk about like what I would recommend to people getting into the this hobby, but I might have to do that as another video because I'm looking at the time here. It's nearly 20 minutes. It's been nearly 20 minutes. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining me on this mad journey so far. And even though it's only August, well, May for me, um, I'm looking forward to seeing where things go. Since I started doing the long form contents, I'm looking forward to see where we're at the end of the year, or when it's 3 years on the YouTube channel. So yeah, thank you once again for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you all on the next upload, whatever that is. I haven't even scheduled out August yet, so I don't know what I'm covering. But yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you all in the next upload.